And I will say that I know I do this area of law because I lost my husband when I was 32 with three small children, and we both were attorneys. And so things were very smooth for us. I didn't really have to do anything. I signed a couple pieces of paper and my house was mine. And I see families in court and they're fighting over very small things. And so I try to make sure that families stay out of court and out of conflict and children are protected because more than anything as parents, the safety, well-being of our children is so important. Sure. So everybody, regardless of their immigration status or their health, everybody has risk. And so estate planning attorneys specialize in helping people prevent risk by planning around it and trying to make sure that when unexpected or unfortunate things happen, that there is documentation in place to help keep people out of court and out of conflict as much as is possible. So, in the case of a parent who is worried that they might not be able to care for their child, we have parents create affidavits for childcare, and those are documents that somebody can, as a caregiver, present to a school or to a doctor and make sure that a child gets necessary care. You can designate who should take care of your children if you're unable to, whether that's because you've gone out of town and missed a flight, or you've ended up in the hospital, or something else. And that's one thing that people can do. And some of those forms are actually available online for free. And I have given you a link earlier so that maybe you can share that. People can prepare those, but they would need to be notarized. So that is an important thing that people can do. But when it comes to assets, it's a little harder to protect them. You would need to work with an attorney, ideally. For basic assets, we have people generally prepare a power of attorney, and it's a piece of paper that says who can deal with your legal and financial matters when you cannot. And that can include being um, in the hospital, in a coma, imprisoned, detained, stuck out of the country, like on a cruise ship during COVID. So, really, it is a good form for everyone to have in place. If you're someone who is worried that you might end up unable to take care of your financial or legal matters, which is really anyone, you should get a power of attorney. And you need an attorney to help you draft it. But real estate needs special protection. Now, certainly you can name your real estate, you can list it in your power of attorney, and that can help. It's better than not doing that. But what I would advise for anyone who owns real estate and is worried that they might not be here to pay the utility bills, to pay the mortgage, or to pay the property taxes, if they're afraid something might happen and the house would be there, maybe with their partner or their friend staying in it, but they need to be able to have somebody pay those bills to make sure they don't lose the home in a tax sale and all the equity in it. I would recommend something called a revocable trust. Now, a trust is just a way to hold assets, to hold the house. I have a little, can you see this in the?
Yes, a little
Okay, so
like.
so think of a trust like a little red wagon. So
Mhm.
you hold on to the handle, and when you can, you're the trustee of your trust. And if something happens to you, somebody that you trust holds on to that handle, and they can take care of the things that you have put into your trust, like your house is in your trust. And then they can make sure that your taxes are paid. Or if you want to sell the house, they can sell the house for you and put the money into an account that you have already opened in the name of the trust. But you need to
Ah,
talk to a lawyer. You need to choose people that you really, really trust. But that is a really good way to protect your assets from being. I would really worry if I couldn't take care of my home, paying my property taxes, having a tax sale. And so it's a very simple way. Anybody is able to create a revocable living trust, and anybody in the United States is able to own property, and you can transfer that into a revocable living trust, and you have that extra layer of security. You've named somebody to take care of all of these things, and then if something happens, they can make sure that your house is taken care of. And that is what I think is a really great way to protect your assets in the face of uncertainty. To find trusted people that you are pretty sure will be able to deal with things. Certainly, you should talk to an attorney if you're in this situation, an estate planning attorney. I would love to talk to you. I would love to help you. But that is what I would advise. So to start the process with me, you could call my office at 330-302-9270, or you could email me. I hope we can just maybe post that in the links, but
Yes.
it's lou@lpowerslaw.com. And we would start by a Zoom conversation maybe, and
Okay.
figure out what you need. I think that people need to work with an attorney in the state where they are residing and where their real estate is. So if you're in Ohio or even Colorado, I could help you. If you're in another state, I could help you find an attorney that would be able and willing to help you do this kind of planning. Could help you fill it out. If we decide to work together, I will send you a link where you put your own information in, and it would be easiest for me if people put all of their name and their birth dates, those sorts of things there. But I can help you figure out what goes on what line. As
Okay.
far as the form to designate a guardian for minor children, if you end up not working with an attorney, if you use the link through Ohio Legal Help, there are instructions on that form in Spanish if you happen to speak Spanish,
Okay.
and that can help. I would advise people who have minor children and are uncertain of what their legal status is and they're scared, I would advise them to name somebody that they trust to take care of their children, because nobody, whether it's because they might get sick or because they, might get stuck on a cruise ship in COVID, wants their children in foster care. And if you have a neighbor or a friend that your children know well, especially someone who is a naturalized US citizen or a US citizen, those are the people that you should name so that your kids can stay in the schools that they're used to. Because very often there are families that have mixed status. And so children might not be subject to some of the same action that one or more parents might be. Normally, it takes 4 weeks to 6 weeks to get through the whole process. But if a trust is just being used to hold a house and it's an emergency, we can create a very simple trust. We can ask the recorder,
Okay.
the county, to put the deed, because we'd have to do a deed into the trust, would quit claim into the trust. And then the house is in that trust, and we can update terms. We can go into more depth, because one of the purposes of a trust can be making sure children don't get money outright if something happens to you. So your child at 18 doesn't get $100,000. It's that somebody helps them have some guidance. But it can be very quick to do a simple trust, and it just depends what you want the trust to do. There are all different kinds of trusts.
Okay, perfect. I, that I'm passionate about like giving information, and I think you are the best source. I trust you with my life. I say so many times that in my videos. Then I know that you are the best attorney for me, and I wish my client can contact you, and I will feel secure that you will do your best as you did for you. That you. I told my client that you know how to do this because first of all you did it for yourself and you are well positioned now, and you did it for me, and I know your passion, and I wish my clients can reach you as soon as possible. That way more and more clients are protected, because everybody is working so hard for their own stuff, and we are afraid. And and I think you are the best solution for us. Thank
Well,
you very much.
Thank you for saying that. And I will say that I know I do this area of law because I lost my husband when I was 32 with three small children, and we both were attorneys. And so things were very smooth for us. I didn't really have to do anything. I signed a couple pieces of paper, and my house was mine. And I see families in court, and they're fighting over very small things. And so I try to make sure that families stay out of court and out of conflict and children are protected, because more than anything, as parents, the safety, well-being of our children is so important.
Yes, yes, and I know that you are passionate because you know everything back and forward of all the ends. No, then I'm happy to have you as a friend and as a lawyer. And thank you very much for giving me this time.
Thank you so much for talking to me, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you, Lucille. I will put all your information that way my people can contact you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
No